welcome everyone to Friday Open Mic. As I mentioned, Aaron is traveling. He's unable to join us. Ashley is still on vacation, ancestor hunting, funnily enough. So if any of you guys are chatting to her on Discord, you can ask her if she's found any interesting gravestones. That's what she's up to. She'll be back next week. As with our usual introduction, a couple of key things to get through. Number one, this is a technical call. So for folks who are new to Rewst, welcome. We're here to learn. We're here to see what some of the updates in the platform are, as well as some of the cool automations, workflows, and sub-workflows that some of our partners have been building. But if you're not a technical person, don't stress. Don't feel overwhelmed. Learn some stuff, hop into Discord and chit chat there. That is our second big thing, Discord. Use Discord. We're big on Discord here at Rewst. That is where our community lives. It's where everyone is chatting in the coop. It's where you can make a lot of new friends in the MSP space. It's where you can go to ask questions, get answers, research answers from previous questions from last month or even last year. In fact, we even have a neat little channel called the Workflow Forum, where people have left fully operational workflows that you can R&D, aka rob and duplicate in your own environment. So everyone is sharing the wealth in there. So make sure you're using Discord. I'm going to pick on Emmett. I'm just going to pick on you because you're on my screen. How many MSPs have been successful without ever asking questions about automation?
Zero
questions, exactly. 0 questions equals 0 success. You keep that noob mindset, that beginner's mindset. We're all here to learn and grow together, and that is exactly what this call is all about. So without further ado, we are going to jump into things. Just keeping an eye on the chat here for any bits and pieces, but I think we're looking good. And so we're going to kick off with our product update, who's being brought to us by Brooke today. Brooke, hello, are you there?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, lovely to see you.
Awesome, good to see you. All right, we will kick things off for today's update by going straight to the bug fixes and chores. So on the integration side, the team has resolved 2 issues with the ConnectWise PSA integration. So the first of those is a resolution with the date-time format. So for that particular issue, even if you were sending the date-time in the correct format, it was showing as an invalid object type. That has been resolved. The team has also resolved an issue with the opportunity ID handling, so that when you set an opportunity ID in a create agreement call, it sets that field in the back end so that you can see that within ConnectWise. On the create side, template overrides now only apply to fields that have been modified, allowing unmodified fields to receive updates from the parent template. And then a minor adjustment to the settings and the tag color picker to reduce unnecessary GraphQL calls. Something that's not called out in the release notes, but just wanted to highlight, is that we have made some improvements as to how we handle Microsoft CSP tenant transfers. So since a CSP customer tenant can only be associated with one Rewst CSP partner organization at a time, we often receive requests to transfer tenants, especially in cases like MSP to MSP transfers or customer acquisitions. And previously, these transfers required a manual process behind the scenes. We've now built internal tooling for our support team to streamline this, which means faster turnaround times when transfers are needed. So that's pretty much it for the dev update. I just wanted to call out a couple of items that are coming soon. So up next is the Drop Suite integration. And then we've also got bVoIP Leader and some hourly dashboard updates in the queue. That's
Sweet.
it.
Thanks, Brooke. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that Drop Suite integration in particular. I know we got lots of folks using both Drop Suite and also Drop Suite being recently acquired by Ninja One as well. So lots of joint partners there. Good to see. Thanks so much. Rolling on, we have Mr. JP. Look at you in a buttoned-up shirt on a Friday afternoon as well.
I know. I'm really making an effort, George. Thanks for calling it out.
Looks great.
Thank you. All right, a few things, bug fixes and chores. Just gonna, I guess, highlight some of these. We added the ability to specify password length, which is a pretty, why on earth didn't we put that in there the first place thing? So it's an org variable now. You can configure that yourself to meet complexity rules in your customers' environments. We also added the ability, ConnectWise made some modifications to their API, which impacted time entry. So we updated our time entry crates to accordingly. Also, for the Google Workspace stuff, we had some functionality because development expanded the scopes that we had access to. So that allowed us to build in some additional functionality into, in this case, the offboarding workflow. So those are some of the more interesting updates, I think. And I think Paul has a demo today.
Yes, everyone's favorite demoer of crates.
He's a great demoer. Paul is top notch.
Thanks, JP.
Paul, what have you got on the cards for us this call?
This call, I am going to go over the OpenAI Ticket Sentiment Analysis crate for everyone, and I'll run it a couple times, show you the different outputs. I'll also show you how you can use some of these subworkflows within this crate for other things as well.
Yeah, this is something Aaron actually mentioned last week as a great crate. Even if folks, if you're kind of just new to Rewst or haven't used much of the crates, this is a great one to start with because got lots of options, but also easy to unpack and easy to unsync as well, I believe, Paul, so you can kind of make your custom changes to it. Paul, you've muted yourself somehow.
Yeah, sorry about that. There we go. Yep. All right, I'll go ahead and share it out and run through it, and we'll go from there. When you first unpack the crate, so you'll find in the crate marketplace as OpenAI Ticket Sentiment Analysis. You can just select all of this stuff. You choose your PSA. You're going to want to choose what you want it to detect. Sentiment is if the customer is angry, which is kind of the main purpose of this, but it also sets priorities. You're going to want to select probably all three of these would be the best if you want the best deal with this workflow. So you can go ahead and set this, and then you can set the impact to what you think it should be for to set the impact for your environment to high, and same with priority. These two we're going to be using the prompt, which I'll show you. This one is the sentiment, basically the tone of the ticket. So if someone is not happy with something and they're very angry and they want someone looking at the ticket right away, you're going to want to set this to, I would set it to 4, just it's the safest one, but you can set to 5 or 3 or whatever you think. And if they're angry, it's going to say that in the ticket. It's also going to escalate it to whatever email you put in here, which is or ConnectWise a member, an agent, or depending on your PSA, it could be anything. But
Paul, sorry to interrupt. Just for context, the number 4 is that what's that out of?
So it's one out of 5. It's just basically just how it's rating. It's like a rating system. So 1 out of 5, 5 being if they're angry the most, and 1 being if, well, you would want to set to 4. So if they're angry and it thinks it's a 4 out of 5 of anger, it's going to escalate the ticket. If it's anything lower, it's not going to think it's high enough for it to be escalated.
Like a reverse star system, 5 stars, but you don't want the stars. Stars are bad.
Yes. Yep. And then you can set the model here, and you can either turn on errors to show up in the ticket, which If there's an error with an API or something like that, or something happened, it would show up in the ticket and update the ticket note, or you can just leave that to false and it won't show any errors in case, and it just won't update the ticket with the errors. And then you'd click continue, and then you'd go ahead and have the create unpacked. And here's the workflow, which has these triggers here. Another way to set those values is to just click this edit trigger button here, and you can just change them whenever you want. If a model's not listed on that list, you can put in any model you want here. So if you have like a newer model that's not updated on this workflow, you can throw it in here and it'll pick that up. There's also a org variable you can use with this workflow for the model. So it's going to be this as well. This should be in the docs page. And with all that set, we'll go ahead and run it and we'll see what happens. We'll just make a ticket here. We'll say network is down, I need help. Now we'll do an exclamation point. This will be like an angry one. I set that to use GPT-5 Nano as well, if you were wondering. Make that caps. Go ahead and save that, and while that goes, we'll open this up here and we'll see what's going on. All right. So it's going to run through the first steps, make sure there's a model set and all the presets are there. And then it'll go down and grab all the details depending on your PSA. It'll grab impacts, urgencies from Halo if you have that. It'll grab impacts from ConnectWise. There's no urgencies in ConnectWise. And other PSAs, it's going to set these to a default 1, 2, or 3, which is used as a rating system for any PSAs that don't actually support these. And I'll show you how that works as well. But okay, so that's still running. So this is now at the AI portion. It's sending it's grabbing a note from the ticket and it's sending that note through the AI. And we're just waiting for a response here. And it gave a response. So this is going to always respond in JSON if it's supported. If it's not supported, it'll still respond in JSON. But this way, it will always try to use the JSON response first. And the output would look like this from the OpenAI response. And then it'll use these values to set the actual ticket to those. We'll open this here so we can actually see it. So if you look at here, the message indicates an enterprise-wide outage. It's going to say that it needs urgent resolution, priority 1, critical. I should have showed you this before, but this was a different owner before. For my escalation, I set it to the new setup one in here. So if we go in here, you'll see that it's going to get this escalation member based off this email, and it's going to pull it, and then it's going to update the ticket with that information as well in here, and it's going to update the urgency or the priority and urgencies and whatever else is needed within this call. And all the stuff that you said at the beginning, the sentiment is not in the prompt, but the other two things were, and I'll go over that. But within this workflow here, you have the sentiment check, which is where it's going to check to see if it needs escalation, which basically checks to see if you selected sentiment within the initial setup. If you didn't, it's not going to escalate it. It's going to check if there's an email set up, and it's going to make sure that the sentiment is above that rating system that you chose. or equal to or above. And if it is, it's going to escalate it. If it's not, it's going to update the ticket like normal without escalating it. It's a lot of information I'm giving you, but hopefully it helps break it down more. So the prompt part is this part right here. So basically this part right here is you sending something to AI. It's built out so you can add more if you wanted to. If you wanted to take this apart, you could grab this subworkflow here. You could add more subworkflows to it to use like a different, instead of OpenAI, you could use any other integration that's supported AI-wise, and just add another transition here. Change this so if it's AI or OpenAI, use this. If it's this one, use some other one. It's pretty easy to just add another one in there. And if you use this, you can pretty much put in any prompt you wanted to, but for this one, this prompt is created here. And here's the full prompt here. I won't go over it, but this is pretty much how it works. It's taking everything, it's grabbing the ratings within the prompt to rate everything, just so it can dynamically set it for every single different PSA. And you'll see those variables that you set are in here as well. So these are the ones that you set. So if the urgency is this or greater, the priority should be the highest priority. So if you were to choose like 2 at the beginning, it's going to set the priority to the highest no matter what. And also the impact, if you were to choose 2 and it's higher than 2, it's going to change the impact to the highest as well. And that's how that works. If you wanted to take this apart and make your own prompt, you could unsync this workflow by clicking this. On your side, there's going to be a little button here that you can check off and it'll unsync it. And then you go ahead and that's all you have to do. And then you're going to want to go into the template as well, which is in here. And there's going to be another button that you can click to unsync it. And that makes it so you can customize it to whatever you want. And if it's not being as strict as you want, you can customize it more or less or however you want. You can also take this sub workflow here, and it's going to be this workflow right here on your end. So if you're going to create something, you could throw it in there, grab it, and drag it out into like a empty workflow if you wanted to, and you could throw in your own message here. And pretty much build it out how you want, and it's going to run through here and here and output the data based off your prompt. So it makes it very easy to use if you want to reuse this for something different. It's already built out, and there's some error handling in there, so I'll first try with JSON, then it'll fail over to non-JSON here. That's pretty much, I could go again and run it again with a different one to show you the difference, but so that was like a high one. We'll do a quick low one real quick, and then we'll be done with this. Just don't want to take all the time.
No, this is valuable. I love the idea. Like, I think this is a good one, right, Paul, for folks who just want to tinker with Create. It's a really good example of, using that pencil icon, go in, create a duplicate of unpacking this Create, and it's a pretty safe one to unsync and just mess around with, and that way we just get more comfortable with some of these pre-builts. Not everything has to work 100% out of the box. Not everything will, because everyone's using different stacks. Everyone has different processes, but that was never the intention of Creates, to fix everyone's problems all the time. Half the time they are there just to provide a bit of a framework and give you pieces that you can come in and harvest for your own custom workflows.
Yes. Yep. For this specific one, this is I won't run it again since I'm taking up everyone's time, but this one right here would probably be the main one you want to grab, and you can, if you want to use AI and have it like respond certain ways, definitely use this one. And it's pretty fun to play with because you can have it output certain things for you, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But Yeah, that's all I got for this.
Cool. Thanks so much, Paul. Appreciate it. I'm just going to check the chat real quick for any questions. Or I'll let you do that, Paul. You can just nosy back. Next up, our final internal update. We have for 2 weeks in a row the legendary Eddie Chow coming to bring us all things education. Don't deny it, Eddie. Don't deny your legendary status.
Okay, for you, I will not deny it. All right, let's go ahead and jump into those education updates. Let's give those shout outs. So for Rewst Foundations, shout out to Carl, Logan, Cyprian, Shartak, Niels, Sven, Salvador, Dawson, Nan, Monty, Ronald, and Leary for passing the Rewst Foundations. And then for Clean Automation, we have Shartek, Carl, Sven, Monty, and Abraham. And from the Rewst side, we have Michael and JD. So congrats on everyone for passing your certifications. If you haven't done so already and taken the courses and the certifications, you can do so on learn.rewst, if I could spell, .io. Right, so everything is here. You have your nice Get Certified. Click on that. You take the required trainings, and then you can take the certification as well. If you wanted to really go through and take the certification, you can, but the idea is to learn. So make sure you go through the content here. We have live trainings coming up in the month of September. So if you want to sit down with me, we can work through these things together, ask questions live. We can even maybe deviate a little bit. So on learn.rewst.io, when you hit the home tab, live training, you can sign up for live trainings here as well. Speaking of live trainings, every Friday, we also have office hours. So if you're going through content on your own and you have that one random question and you just really wanted to sit down and talk it through, maybe whiteboard it, this is what office hours is for, right? So again, devoted time to really just have that sort of one-to-one or one-to-few kind of feel when it comes to learning. So if you want to ask any questions live as you go through content, we have office hours here as well. And that's again just from this home tab right here once you hit learn.rewst.io. We're constantly updating things, working on things. So if you have any suggestions as to, hey, what kind of content has helped you? What kind of content do you wish existed when you were going through training? Let us know. You can let us know in Discord. Let your CSM know. Let your AS know. Whoever you need to let know, let them know. And then if you're just perusing and you want to see, hey, what courses are there from the homepage, you can scroll down, navigate to all courses, and boom, all the courses are here. So that's kind of again, a brief tour of learn.rewst.io. Right, so some of the things that have been updated, again, some things here in Jinja in action. Again, we do listen to feedback. We get emails as well. And so we constantly iterate through, include feedback and things like that. So always feel free to reach out to us, cluckyou@rewst.io for any questions if you want to send them via email. And as always, shout out to our documentation team for documenting all of the things. Again, docs.rewst.help is our doc site. You have the search bar that doubles as your sort of AI helper. So if you just want to ask a question at like 4 in the morning because nobody's awake, you can use this search bar as well to kind of help sort through the plethora of different doc articles that exist. So I think that wraps it up for all of the big updates from the education side. Throwing it back over to you, George.
Thanks, Eddie. Great job. Good job, education team, and congratulations to all of those folks who got their new certs. We're going to move on now to some partner demos. So without further ado, I'm going to jump straight over to Andre at Apex Computers. Good afternoon, Andre.
Hello. Do I need to turn my camera on?
You can if you want. Yeah, we'd all love to see who we're chatting to. I always like to get the ball rolling, Andre, with just a little bit of background. So we'd love to hear, just a little bit about you, where you're from, how long you've been using Rewst, and what got you excited and interested in automation.
So if I remember correctly, we've been using Rewst for like a year and a half, but we're using it almost exclusively for our internal operations. So it's like our ticketing system or our monitoring system, to do basically, yeah, all the internal stuff that makes the lives of our remote support guys easier. And I'm the only one that is like actively building the workflows. The guys are using forms and stuff, and the automations are like constantly running on things. But in terms of building, yeah, I'm the only one. So whatever people tell me to do, I kind of do, I guess. And I still wasn't sure what exactly to show, because I know you guys were looking for people with bad workflows, and here I am. So I was thinking of what I could show. And since you guys were demoing the AI sentiment analysis crate, I thought maybe I could show let's say like a simpler version of this thing to show people that you can build something in like 5 minutes if you want to. It's definitely not something pretty or something that is very flexible, but I just built it because we wanted to see if we could actually like use AI to help manage some part of our ticketing system. So just to give a little bit of context, when you create a ticket in Autotask, you can select like an issue type and sub-issue type for a ticket, whether it's for like a network or a firewall or whatever. And sometimes we need to like pick those manually. And when a ticket comes through email, it's not set up, so we have to do that ourselves. So I tried building like an automation that basically, whenever a new ticket comes in Autotask, it scans the ticket, it gets all the issues and sub-issues and sets one, whatever it likes, and it doesn't look as complex as the one from the AI sentiment analysis crate. So if you guys want, I can show you that workflow.
Yeah, let's take a peek.
Yeah, let me just see how to properly share my screen, because I never really did that on Teams. Let's see. So here is, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll do the one that again, it's not really like cool, that good, but still. So I have two of those, but I'll show you the one that you run like manually, quote unquote. So I know a lot of the workflows are usually run through forms, but sometimes I want to like test them, so I just run them through this testing. And so this is a very, very basic thing, which is like, as you can see, it gets the ticket itself, and you give it like the ticket ID that you want. It gets all the issues and sub-issues that are available in Autotask. It gets all the ticket notes that the text put in, the time entries that they put in. I said here, ask AI for help, but it's basically like I have the prompt here with the ticket information and stuff, and then it updates the ticket. And if the update fails for some reason, go back to the AI, tell it that, you failed, please try again, and it'll do that. So I can try to create a ticket in Autotask right now, and then try to manually update it here. And then if you guys want, I can show you like the one that does it by itself. But this is just something that you could like technically build for yourself and try to run yourself. Let me just go into do I need to explain what Autotask is, or?
No, I think most folks on the call know. Yeah, or we have quite a few Autotask users.
Yeah, so let me see. So quick ticket. Can you guys see the thing here?
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, so let me, so I'll just create it for us, and let's set it to like new, student sports. So you can see here, for example, that the issue type and sub-issue type are just like choose, so it's like the default. And let's say my printer is not printing, please help, for example. And so I'll just save that. And unfortunately, in Autotask, there isn't an easy way to get a ticket ID, so you have to go into the URL and get that ticket ID. And again, this thing is just very simple. Of course, I could make it so that you could like choose the tickets like from a list with the titles and all that stuff, but this is just as a testing thing. And so I go here to the test part, and then I put the ID there, click test, and let's see if it does what it needs to do. I mean, I know it should do that, but obviously whenever I demo something to someone, everything fails. So let's see if it's going to fail now again.
I
I'm
really
not
like
sure
this
why.
approach, Andre, though, of like looking at certain things, trying to simplify it, building it on the canvas
Yeah.
first, so you can get really comfortable and familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's just stuck here right now. Maybe there's something wrong with Rewst right now, but yeah, I guess we can wait. It usually runs like almost, oh, okay, there we go. Usually it runs almost instantly. So let's see. Yep, it updated the ticket, and let's see if we go back here. It said that, yeah, printer unable to print. See, and this is like of the predefined list of the issue types that we have. So it's not like AI wrote it itself. So you can see there are a lot of things defined in there. So this is just a very simple thing. And if we look here, it says like scan incoming tickets. So it's basically almost the same thing, but with a couple of different things. And it has a webhook trigger, which is, I'm not sure why this always says that there's an error, there isn't an error, and this is working. But anyways, so there's the ticket webhook, which triggers on like ticket creation. So every time a ticket in Autotask is created, send me some fields, make sure that the issue type and sub-issue type are like the default ones. And then it does the same thing, but it doesn't check for the notes and time entries because there are obviously no time entries or notes in there. It just asks the AI for an opinion on like what the ticket is about, and it updates the ticket as soon as it comes in. And so, yeah, that's a very simple thing that I thought I could show, because usually when I look at the, actually, let me just delete this ticket so that the guys don't complain.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, yep. Usually when I look at the Rewst build workflows, they're huge because they need to account for a lot of different things. And so I usually find myself building the custom workflows simply because, first of all, I know exactly what they do because I built them, and because they're very smaller, a lot smaller because they're for our specific use cases. Like, for example, I don't even need to know what a ConnectWise is. I know it's like another ticketing system, but I don't need to know that because I can only build this for Autotask, which is like, our little thing. And yeah, that's okay. And you can see here that it worked. And we're using our OpenAI credentials, obviously, but we also have our own server in the house. So technically, we could also use our local AI too, but we need to like open the ports for Rewst and stuff. But we already know that it is doable. So I don't know if you guys want me to show like a bit more complex workflows or.
There is a couple of questions just on this. There was a question coming up just as to the rationale behind the two starting points, Andre. There, well, what's the thought behind that?
Because getting the issues and sub issues from Autotask is not dependent on like getting the ticket itself. So if I'm not sure if you can say that it's like two starting points, and I probably should also say that I'm not too good at Rewst, because you can probably see me in Discord a lot asking questions that people almost instantly know the answers to. So usually I put like the no op in the beginning and call it start, and usually that's the starting point. But
some people call it a no op or a noop, depending on which camp you're in.
Well, I think I was told that it's called no op, so I just call it no op too.
I'm not sure that's right, Andre. We'll have to talk about that offline, I think. Another question, this is off topic, that I was kind of curious. A lot of people on the call, Andre, want to know, how many monitors do you have in front of you right now?
This particular setup 6. Not that I'm almost using all of them, but for me, 2 monitors is usually fine. I have another setup downstairs in our office that is 4 monitors. It's like 1 huge TV, 2 horizontal monitors on the left, and then 1 vertical one on the right. That setup, I think it's pretty cool. But if I have monitors on top, it's kind of hard to look at them sometimes. But right now, I'm actually using all of them. Like on one I have Teams, on another I have like a monitoring software, and then other I have Discord, Autotask, this meeting, Rewst. So
perfect. We were just noticing because we were chatting about it in the chat. We can see behind you there a colleague looks like they've got
it's basically the same setup that I have here now. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's basically the same. I'm not sure if I don't think I can take out the webcam here because it's like the cord is very tight in there. But yeah, you could see that. Yeah, I have 6 monitors in here, but it's mostly for our remote support guys that I guess they actually need to look at 6 monitors because they have a lot of things going on. Usually when I do programming here, yeah, I need like 2 at best. I just need a lot of like terminal windows maybe, but yeah, in this particular room, yeah, I have 6 of them.
Quite the setup. Maybe post a little picture in the coop afterwards. We can get that going on a Friday. Everyone can show their monitor setup. I've got 3 myself. But Andre, thanks so much for hopping on and demoing to us today. I know I think it was your first time, right? So congratulations on ticking that box. We always appreciate seeing new faces and people sharing their new stuff. So yeah, everyone show Andre some love in the chat and with a reaction. Next up, we have a special guest. I always go hunting on Discord every now and again for like brand new partners. And so today we have someone who's very, very new to Rewst, Alex Bunyan from SJA Solutions. So I wanted to take a time to kind of yank him out on this virtual stage to say hi to everyone and let everyone, all our regulars on this call, give him a big warm welcome. But Alex, are you there?
Sure am. Thanks, George.
You're welcome. Yeah, welcome to the community. Welcome to Rewst. Alex, I know you and I were kind of going back and forth in a private chat. You're very kindly going to show us the first workflow that you've ever built, which is super cool to kind of see. We always love seeing where people start and what they do. But before we jump into that, I just wanted to kind of get some perspective from someone, who's new to automation. Like what brought you to Rewst? What got you interested in automation, and how have you found the first few weeks getting started?
Definitely like drinking from a fire hose. It would be the best way to describe that for learning. But for automation, we worked with another company that helped onboard Sept, and they had talked about Rewst. I'm familiar with an RPA. Back in my last job, I actually worked with more of like a ETL tool, which is very similar, Hitachi Pentaho. So I'm kind of familiar with how it runs in structure, but it's still pretty new. For automation, I'm more of like the scripter that does more task-based versus a whole process. So yeah, it's actually very cool to see the community, be able to have someone to bounce ideas off of, because I'm the only person doing automation here, so it's definitely nice to have people to bounce things off of.
Yeah, so you've been super active in jumping into Discord. Is that a recommendation you'd make to other new users? Do you feel like folks are kind of missing out if they're not jumping in and leveraging some of the smart people we have in there giving answers?
100%. Because like documentation and AI can only take you so far. So big shout out to Stuart for helping me a lot lately. So it's definitely been nice to have people who've been able to jump in and help with some of the, what I would say, minor questions, but to me they're bigger because I don't know Jinja whatsoever.
How have you found learning Jinja?
It's different to say the least, but I'm getting used to it the more that I'm using the live editor, taking my context from my workflows and just manipulating that data as much as I can just to try and learn and understand how it works.
Yeah, well, we've got our Jinja channel, Jinja courses as well on ClockU for anyone else who's feeling similar to Alex, and of course Jinja Ninja on ChatGPT as well, which is super useful for folks to use. But Alex, go ahead there and share your screen and kind of walk us through your first workflow as a christening to the Rewst community. Welcome again. We're so thrilled to be seeing the first thing you ever built in Rewst.
Yeah, so kind of a backstory on this. So being an MSP, it's really hard to do counts, especially when you have techs just always adding and removing devices and not, following process of like, hey, you need to document this in a ticket and update agreements and so on. So trying to figure out how to kind of funnel that a little bit and create stop gaps. So what we had come up with is removing the ability, we use Ninja for our RMM tool, removing the ability to auto approve. It has to go through an approval process, and then also people can't delete devices. So this is kind of the first stage of it, but essentially what people are going to do is come and within ConnectWise, that's our ticketing system, they're going to select the form and it'll open up. They'll add their email address. So, you know, my actual email address itself, can't actually mess around with that, which was nice. So we added some regex, so it'll actually, you know, give an error if you try and not put in your actual email address for work. And then select the client name, and then this will pop up the actual ticket. It's been acting kind of like this. Come on, you can do it. Anyway, the ticket should pop up. You select the ticket, and then you select the device action. So if you're adding a device, removing it, or if it's a one-to-one replacement, if you do a one-to-one replacement, hey, look, now your ticket works, whatever. You'll select a device. So this, I have a workflow that pulls all the pending devices. If there are any pending devices specific to this company, which is my company, we don't have any right now. I don't think there is any right now. And then decommissioned devices are just all the devices we have in Ninja. So eventually it'll, you know, and I can use the server because that's okay. Eventually we'll have an actual workflow that'll go through and decommission the device itself with options, but unfortunately it was a lot for me. Again, I've only been using Rewst for 2 weeks. This is my first week of actually trying to build a workflow. So it was definitely working through that, but I kind of drew it up on how it would look. And in general, I try and design stuff before I actually like go and implement it. I tried doing that on Monday and just implementing it, not documenting it. Didn't work out so well. So
no,
then,
I love that. Was that what tool was that?
Excalidraw, yeah. Okay. So this morning, yesterday, I had asked what people use for documenting their workflows. I had attempted to use Visio. Visio took a lot of time, and it was really annoying me. And I can't remember the name, so I apologize. But someone in Discord had actually said that they use Excalidraw, and I was like not privy to this. So I looked into it, and I was like, this is a bomb tool. The other one that I looked at was draw.io. I was going to test this and then draw.io and try and make a case for me, you know, using either or.
I love it. And this is the way to do it, like kind of brain dump stuff onto a page or, you know, another tab and kind of just get everything written out. So yeah, that's cool. It makes everything nice and neat before you jump onto the canvas in Rewst.
Absolutely. So then we added in special tags because in our agreements, we have certain people who, you know, either have what's called MES, which is we just cover the endpoint, but billable work, MS Lite, which means that the computer's covered, but it doesn't get patching or anything. And then VIP for like C-level, if, you know, it's a pretty big person, goodness, a higher level employee in the company. So my workflow, so once you submit it, the workflow itself, so I pull the actual user itself, the user ID, email, and username from AD, because this is internal to us. And then since we use Duo, our leadership team actually wanted a way for us to kind of verify the user. So like, hey, if you're approving or removing a device, just a second form of like, you know, I'm not putting George's name and email inside of the form, and then, you know, the audit trail would show that he's the one who did this kind of thing. So we added in, so it'll actually send a dual authentication and you approve it, and then the workflow continues. So then I have an option switch based on what you select for your device action. So if it's an add device, it'll actually go into a sub workflow that I have. It's very simple, but it'll go through and approve the device. If it fails, it'll go ahead and create a service ticket for us. So again, super simple and easy. And then for removing devices, this is where it's, I'm still kind of working on the sub workflow for like actually decommissioning. There is an option on the form where you can actually click the checkbox for decommissioning, and that'll go through this. So, we have Huntress, so create a ticket because there's no way for Huntress API to do it. But DNS filter, removing Duo and sending a script to it, Arctic Wolf as well. It'll initiate a device shutdown and then delete the Ninja One device itself, just so that it's all task-based and automated so we don't forget things. But then, excuse me, there we go. From there, it'll tag the device that it's going to for, it's called pending decommission. So then we can pull a report over, right now it's every month. We'll pull a report every month that has everything that's tagged that way. And then we'll go through and just clean those up and make sure contract counts stay the same. And then from there, I have it to where it'll actually update the CWM ticket. So we use ConnectWise. Again, I'm still working on formatting and such, but it'll go through, say the workflow name, the device. It only gives the ID. I need to actually add the label to it, what action had taken place, the user, and the time in which the workflow ran, just so that there's a paper trail inside the ticket of what happened. And then that's it so far.
That's incredible. I mean, for you to only be in Rewst for 2 weeks, and let's face it, like you said, the first week is very much always drinking from a fire hose. To come on open mic, share your first workflow that has, even things like subworkflows in it, incredible. So yeah, please everyone give it up for Alex, a brand new partner coming in, diving right into Discord, asking lots of questions, doing everything right. So great job, Alex, and thanks so much, and hope to see you on many more open mic calls in the future. We have 10 minutes remaining on our Friday open mic. If there is anything interesting that folks want to share, a little snippet, a little sub workflow, if anyone has any questions, maybe you're experiencing difficulty, or just want to kind of crowdsource an answer or an idea from folks here, now is the time. Oh, and bring us your problems.
So, I mean, I can ask a quick question. I'm not afraid to. So, in regards to OpenAI, I know that the crate is there. Has anyone found difficulty in implementing OpenAI, or like going through and developing a workflow through AI itself for like ticket analysis of, hey, did, this ticket go well throughout its ending or throughout its paces and it's been closed? So then an AI can go and say, hey, yeah, that was a good ticket, or nah, that could have improved somehow.
Good question. So Alex, like to summarize, anyone using AI to kind of sanity check or quality check their tickets?
Yes. Yeah, like quality assurance type for tickets.
Well, it doesn't look like anybody's using AI on this call for anything. Nope, no one got any input on OpenAI stuff? There we go. Owen's coming in the chat. Thanks, Owen.
Perfect. I'll definitely just check out the crate. I like it.
Cool. Any other questions, guys? Comments? Anything directed for the Rewst team as well? Feel free.
So were you asking about using OpenAI within workflows or to create workflows?
OpenAI within workflows, Tim, I believe, and specifically Alex was just asking around it to help with quality assurance on tickets. So once the ticket's actually been closed, to say like, hey, this was done well, or this took too long, or it maybe wasn't done as efficiently as it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, I would grab so the crates that we showed off earlier, the ones that do ticket analysis or sentiment analysis. Take a look at how that works. And what you can do is, instead of triggering on a ticket creation, you can trigger on a ticket being closed. Again, I don't think we have anything like this built already, but here's the idea. Like, so ticket is closed, so you'll start a workflow and basically grab all of your notes from that ticket. Get all the status updates. Your notes should all have timestamps, so that should give you an idea of how long it took to round trip the ticket from open to closing. Feed that to an AI. The trick here is to build your prompt properly. So you're going to go through several iterations on feeding it the data and asking it the right questions in the right way to get what you want. But you can say something like, you are a help desk manager. You're going to review this ticket. This is the timeline of the ticket. Along with resolution notes and everything. Tell us, how you thought this ticket went, and start with that, and add more details, add more, catches for edge cases, things like that, and really just pick up with that ticket sentiment analysis crate and kind of rip it apart and rebuild it for that purpose.
Awesome, thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. And just to shout out Alex again, Alex is HC Gamer 94 on Discord, everyone. So if you see him there, be sure to say hi. Help him out with any Ginger questions or other stuff he may have. Last few minutes, any other questions from anyone coming in?
Actually, I did have a question.
Who dat? Stuart.
Yes. And this is in regards to Autotask, so not AI specifically, but I know there's been some V1 and V2s of the Autotask workflow nodes, and there was specifically one for updating a company in there. And the new version doesn't have an option to update user-defined fields, but the old one does. Is there anything looking to add that component to there, or is that something where we just got to use the generic API request and do it that way?
Great question. I will defer to any product experts from Rewst on the call.
So I'll chime in. That sounds like an oversight, and it's probably something we want to get a ticket for. It shouldn't be that hard to add in. What I would do is probably drop a message in your channel and have the Rock create a ticket, and then they can get that into product. Because that shouldn't be too difficult. Off the top of your head, do you know if that was just like a generic object field where you would just provide key value pairs, or did it already?
That's exactly what it was. It's just key value pairs. I currently actually have the depreciated version in the workflow, and it works just fine. Yeah, I think somebody dropped a screenshot.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like depreciated one. That might. Am I stupid? Did I just blaze right pie it and? Because it might be, maybe that is the name for it.
Yeah, that's a really simple change.
Field.
Yeah. So yeah, if we get a ticket for it, then we can get that added in there. It shouldn't be that difficult, especially considering it's just a
custom properties
generic field.
Not in every task that can take UDFs. Okay, so all right, so Owen dropped a screenshot in there. So are those custom? The bit that's tagged there as custom fields, is that the user-defined fields, or is that something different? It could just be that I missed that and I'm a big dummy. Time to open my playground workflow and mess around with it.
Yeah, okay, Stuart, cool. If they are custom fields, but they are not showing up in every task that you can update them. So I can't recall off the top of my head which tasks, like update ticket or add note or whatever. Some of them don't have that in there.
Okay, cool. I'll play around with that and see if that's if one of those is in fact that custom field, the user-defined fields, or if that just needs to get added. I'll poke around in it. If it is that, I'm not going to put in a ticket about it. If it, I'll figure it out. You guys may be hearing from me Monday or Tuesday. So.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Stuart. Sounds good. And after what you showed last week, definitely not a dummy at all. All right. So don't be crop failing yourself. You reap what you sow. So don't talk bad about yourself like that. That's what we're here for. Okay, guys, that is it for time. Thank you so much for all joining us. Please meow your goodbyes. Enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Meow.
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 Boom.
Meow.
Meow.
Yeah.